Hello, grade 4. How are you? Today we're gonna start our new lesson in term 2. This is chapter 3, lesson 1. The name of our lesson is Land and Climate. Let's start. Here is, guys, as you can see, we start with the East. The East is a main region in America. Listen, guys, this is the map of North America as a continent. And this part, okay, what's in dark orange is Canada. And this part in the middle is America. This part is Mexico. So all of this is North America. Okay, we're gonna take what? We're gonna take this is America, and this part, this is the east of America, the main region in America, the east. We're gonna take it today. Okay, we took this part, and this is a big map to the east. Okay, let's check the location first of the east. So our whole lesson today is about the east. The East, guys, as you can see here, there are many states in the East. Maine, for example, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Washington, D.C. So here, a lot of states in the East. Okay, let's check its location. Here, guys, if we use the compass, we can see here is in north of the East is Canada. And in south, if you check south, here the last state is Washington, D.C. Okay, if you check the east, here is the Atlantic Ocean, look, and here is on west is the Great Lakes. These are the Great Lakes. So the east lies between the Atlantic Ocean on the east and the Great Lakes on the west. Canada is on north and Washington, D.C. in south. This is the location. Okay, let's move to the other information about the east. Number 3, here the coast. As you can see, guys, here is the east side of the east. Here is, it lies along the Atlantic Ocean. So all of this land along the Atlantic Ocean is called the coast or coastal plain. So what the meaning of coast or coastal plain? It means the land that border an ocean. It means the land that border an ocean. Okay? This is number 3 and 4, what the meaning of coast and coastal plain. The land that border an ocean. This is the ocean, and here is the land beside the ocean is called the coastal plain. And coastal plain is the land along the ocean. Okay. Number 5, rock and sand left from glaciers. You know, glaciers means the movement of the ice. Because the ice moves and sometimes they carry rock and sand, so they help in forming two things. Number 1, sandy beaches. Okay. Number 2, capes. What the meaning of capes? Here, guys, these are the picture of cape. Cape, it's like a bridge. You can see it's like a bridge, but it's shaped with a point. This point, okay? So it's a pointed land. It's like a bridge with a point in the middle of the ocean. So it's a point of land that sticks out into the water, and here we can see the difference between the cape and the island. The island is a land shaped like a circle, and it's surrounded by water from all sides. But the cape, no, it's shaped with a point. And here we can see number 7, more people live in coastal plain. They love, or they like to live in coastal plain states. Here is, guys, look at the map again. These are the states of the coastal plain. Look, the coastal plain states, because it's located along the Atlantic Ocean. But here is, guys, look at the map. Here is the Appalachian Mountains. So here are the coastal plain states, and here are the mountains states. Here's people like to live on the coastal plain states. Why? Because it's close to the water. That first. Number 2, the land is less rugged. Rugged means rough. So you can find that the land here is less rugged, means less rough than the mountains states. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. In the mountain states, again, back to this part. Here is the Appalachian Mountains. So these states are called the mountains states. The people who are living in the mountains states, what they are doing. Number 1, people mine coal. Look at this picture. People mine coal. Number 2, cut down trees. This is the second job. The third job, that they farm in valleys. Look, these are the valleys. Valleys means the land, the deep land between two hills or two mountains. Okay, let's move to number 9. Number 9, the East has lakes, rivers, oceans. Lakes, rivers, ocean. Let's check the map. 1 minute. Here is ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. Here is river, Hudson River, and the lakes are the Great Lakes. So when I ask you what are the lakes that's located in the east, the Great Lakes. The ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. The river, here is Hudson River. Okay, let's move to the next point. Rivers flow from mountains down, creating waterfalls that make travel difficult. Look, guys, when rivers moves, it flows from mountains. Look, it flows from mountains, and here it makes or it creates something called waterfalls. This is the picture of waterfalls. This is the waterfall. So of course, waterfalls make travel very difficult. And what else? Number 11, people use the water. Here is the picture. This picture refers to how we use water through some kinds of machines to produce electricity. So the movement of the waves run some machines, some kinds of machines to produce electricity. This is how we use the water of rivers and oceans. Let's move to the next slide. What this picture, harbors. People built settlements near harbors along the Atlantic Oceans. So if we check the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, we can find that the people of the East built harbors. Harbors means that the place where ships parks. So we can find that ships carry people and goods and park here in the harbors. Let's move to the next point. Number 14. Number 14 here, I'm speaking about the weather of the East. Okay, let's check this picture, guys. Here is the Earth, and here is in the middle of the Earth is the equator. The sun the sunlight is direct here on the equator area, and here is where is America. America is located here. Look, this is America, in the northern part, the northern Western hemisphere. So America is here. As you can see, America has temperate climate, or it's in the temperate zone. This temperate zone it's not very near or very close to the equator, and also it's not very close to the North Pole. So it's halfway between North Pole and the equator. That's why it has temperate climate. Well, the meaning of temperate climate, let's see. Temperate climate means without extremes. It means not very cold as in Arctic or near to the North Pole, and not very hot near the equator. Check again. This is the temperate zone, the temperate area. It's not very near to the equator, so it's not hot, and it's not very near to the Arctic or to the North Pole. I'm sorry. So it's not very cold. It's in between. In between. It's halfway between North Pole and the equator. This area is called between the North Pole and the equator is called temperate zone. What the meaning of temperate? No extremes. Not very cold. Look, not very cold and not very hot. Okay, I told you that the East is located along the Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean brings cold breezes on hot days or in summer, and also warmer breezes on cold days or in winter. When I ask you describe the winter in the East, you say that the winter is cold and sometimes it's snowy. The summer is warm and sometimes humid, means full of moisture. And then number 20. Let's move to number 20. Here, number 20, I'm speaking about some kinds of storms that the East has. This kind of storm is called nor'easter. It has storms called nor'easter, and it brings a strong wind, high waves, heavy rains. So when I ask you describe the nor'easter, nor'easter, it's kind of storms. Yes. Okay. How it happens? When it happens, it brings strong wind, high waves, heavy rains, or snow. I told you that the winter sometimes snowy. Okay, let's move to the plants, which we can find in the East. The plants here, I stick for you the pictures of the 4 kinds of the plants we can find in the East. Number 1 is maple, number 2 birch, number 3 hickory, and number 4 oak. Those are the pictures of the plants, so you can check the names with the pictures. That's it. Here, the plants, because the winter, I told you that it's sometimes snowy, so they lack water in the frozen soil. Okay, for the animals, we have here the first kind of animals we can find in the East is squirrels. Squirrels, guys, you know, it's very famous animal, and it bury nuts during the hot months or in summer. Because what? Because it's very hard to find food in winter. Some kinds of animals try to adapt to the cold climate, so they try to bury their food during the summer months, okay, to save it in the cold months or in the cold weather. Number two, or the second kind of animals we have in the east, is the black bears. And here the black bears also how to adapt. They use leaves to make their shelter inside a cave, and they can also sleep for around 100 days. Also, these are the pictures of some animals which we can find in the East. Also, memorize the name of the animal with its picture. Okay, this is chipmunks, this is a skunk, and this is raccoons. Okay, and all of these animals also try to hibernate or adapt to the weather. That's it, guys. These are our lesson for this week. I write for you all the information related to the East. Again, this is the map, it's the location. The second slide is speaking about the coastal plain and the cape. Those are the landforms we can find in the East. And here are the jobs of the people who live in the mountain states, okay, especially those who live in the Appalachian Mountains. And next, here we have the landforms, the lakes, rivers, and ocean. And I told you this is the Atlantic Ocean, Hudson River, and Great Lakes. And after we speak about how waterfalls are forming and how people use water to carry it or to produce electricity. After that, they built harbors, and we use harbors to move ships that carry people and goods. And after that, the weather or the climate in the East, it's temperate, not very cold, not very hot. And after that, I'm speaking about the kinds of storms we can find in the East, nor'easter storm. And next, or in last, we have the kinds of plants and animals. Okay. Thank you, grateful. And if you need any kind of information, contact me anytime. Thank you and goodbye.